All right, metalheads, this is DJ REM, and you are listening to the band Swirl. They've been cranking the last couple tracks. They're badass, that's all I can say. And I have Dwayne from the band on the line. What's up, man?
Hey, DJ REM, how are you, brother? This is DT. Just go ahead and call me that. It's all good.
DT, you got it, buddy. So, let's start, if you could introduce yourself and your spot in the band, and then the rest of the band members that are not with us tonight.
All right, gladly. Yeah. DT Jones, I'm the guitar player and founder of Swirl. Our singer is Alfred Ramirez. Bass player is Shane Carlson. Brian Bam Bam Jones is the drummer, and it is not a coincidence that we share the same last name. That is indeed my brother.
Badass. So, how long has Swirl been around as a band then?
This version of the band has been around 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah, yep.
How long in total then has Swirl been around?
Well, I started Swirl back in the late... I'll say we got going right around, like 2000.
Okay.
Really just we're young and inexperienced and trying to get things going. Got our first record out. It was produced by Carlos Cavazzo, who most people will know from Quiet Riot. He's currently playing in Rat. And then Matt Thor, who's the bass player in Rough Cut. We put out a record called Out of Nowhere, and then toured North America and Japan on that. That band broke up slightly after the last bit of touring, because, if we're being here, father got sick and passed away, and I was just seriously considering not doing much of anything. I wasn't even thinking about doing music. So the other guys moved on, and it's all good. No love lost. No hard feelings. It's all good. And so then that was out of the Pacific Northwest. I moved to California and joined up with Brian and met Shane Al through Claude Snell, of all people, the keyboard player in Dio. So he basically is responsible for putting this thing together, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Well, that's super cool. Well, I'm sorry about your loss, but I'm glad everything worked out, and Swirl is alive and cranking. That's badass.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So, how often do you guys get together? I guess kind of what is your routine? Does everybody live like in a local vicinity where you guys can get together and practice regularly, or are you guys, just because you've been doing this so long, is that something you guys just don't need to do?
Well, first practice. We don't do a consistent week-to-week practice schedule because we have been doing it long enough, and the one thing that I learned from touring and just years of doing this is, bands have shelf lives, and you can accelerate a shelf life of a band if you spend too much time together spinning your wheels, not progressing, not moving things forward. So when there's things to do, we get together, we work on them. When it's kind of dormant, it's a low point, or there's not as much going on, everybody's off living, is what you want.
Right.
Then you can bring those experiences and that energy back when we get together. But my brother and I are down in the Temecula area. The singer and bass player, Shane, and Alfred are out in Pasadena. So we get together in like midpoint, like around Anaheim, and we rehearse there, get ready for tours. We record in Anaheim, that kind of a thing. As far as, the getting ready for tours goes, or actually rehearsals, look, you should know your parts. Practice and rehearsal is there's two differences. Practice is you learning your stuff. Rehearsal is getting together to fine-tune what you've learned. Don't come into rehearsal not having practice is the way we operate.
Yeah, that's a good plan. Yeah. Definitely. Very cool.
It's worked for us. I'll just say that. I don't tell anybody how to do their thing. This is what we do.
Well, and that's the thing. Every band has their way that works for them, and that's really all that matters, whatever works for you.
Exactly.
So, what are you guys up to right now? What do you guys have in the works?
Oh, this is an amazing time for us, if we're being completely candid, simply because we put the lift out beginning of January, actually it's the middle, January 11th, and it has absolutely taken off. It's charting in Scotland. It's charting in Australia. It's charting in the U.S. It's led to, after 10 years of being independent, self-managed, booking our own shows, being our own record company, it's led to us now having management. We're in the middle of negotiating with the record label right now, and we'll probably be on tour within the next 90 days. So we've got local shows that we're doing to fine-tune the set, and then we'll be off on tour. We just have to wait for, agreements to be signed and all that good stuff. But one way or another, Swirl is going to tour. We have 11 countries to tour on, either through the success of the song The Lift or the 3 songs in the movie Ditch Day that was released in January of 2017, because that's now out in 5 countries. So we've got, those countries we want to go tour on. Then the places that are playing Swirl music directly, we want to go hit those. We're fixing to be out for them.
Awesome, badass. Well, I wish you guys best of luck with all that. That sounds like, things to be excited for, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's things are on a different level now, right? Exactly, you're in Michigan, so we will be crossing paths this year for sure.
Very cool. Yeah, you'll have to let me know what venues you're going to be at, so I can see if they match up with, something I can make work.
Absolutely. I always say we're not hiding; we're easy to find. So we are all about the promo. So you will know when we're out and where we are. I will make sure of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the cool thing about that is once I know, then I can share it with everybody that I know in Michigan. We know how this rolls. Everybody works together, right?
Absolutely. That's how it should be.
Yep, exactly. So speaking of, let's give you some shameless promo time here. Where can people go to find out more about Swirl? What social networking? What websites? What are you guys using to promote?
Well, here's the thing. What are we using? That's the wrong question. The question is, what do you use? Because we're on everything. So you don't have to come find us. You grab whatever you normally use. We're there. Everything is Swirl the Band. So if you punch up SWIRLTHEBAND, find us on Twitter as Swirl the Band, Instagram Swirl the Band, Facebook Swirl the Band. I think, for the 3 or 4 people that still use MySpace, it's just Swirl. But, everything is Swirl the Band, basically.
Very good, very good. And then where can they, I'm guessing the same type of thing if they want to listen to the music, if they want to purchase the music, if they want merchandise, how about the same kind of thing for that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Just go straight to swirltheband.com. It's our official website. Obviously, the videos are there, along with links to, in the right-hand corner, is the links to our social media sites. Everything is run by the band right out of the swirltheband.com site. We also take care of our own social media. By all means, reach out to us. I mean, we love talking to people, and like our social media is pretty impressive, I guess, for an independent, unsigned band. I mean, we've got over 6,000 Twitter followers. We're coming up on 12,300 Facebook followers, but we're active. You're not going to send us a message and not hear from us within an hour or so. We take a lot of pride in making sure we connect with people, whether it's through social media or, of course, when we're out playing live, we make sure to do that.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, you think about, because I remember, what was it, like a week or 2 ago or whatever it was, I think, Metal Coffee PR posted something, and next thing I know, I put a link to my stuff on there, reach out if you want to do an interview and get your music played, and next thing I know, we're talking. So it definitely showed me you're active and paying attention.
Very much so. That's how it works. I mean, look, you have a band and you're trying to get it out there, but you got to advocate. You got to self-advocate. So, if somebody wants to talk to us and wants to learn about us, we are all too happy to spend some time with them.
Right on.
So thank you for this opportunity, for sure.
Oh, yeah, no, my pleasure. And there are so many bands that just think that people are going to play their music and that you don't ever hear from them, and guess what? Sorry, they're wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, bottom line is this. There's a million bands in the world, and honestly, this is internet radio, so let's just be honest. Look, just because you have a band doesn't mean anybody has to like it and or care. So
yeah, exactly.
Get out there and hustle. Get out there and vote. or you'll have a plan that you and your buddy go out and that's it.
Well, and you kind of touched on it, because there's so many bands, I know, like for myself, and I'm sure many of the DJs at the station are the same way, we get sent so much music. I mean, I can't even keep up with the music I'm sent. And I think about, back when, people would send demos and stuff into record companies, and I used to always think, I'm like, why in the hell didn't this band ever make it? Well, if I was a record executive and I had to listen to like 10,000 tapes, I would never get through it all. So
Sure.
But the beauty for me as an internet DJ with social media is, a band hits me up or their promotion hits me up, then I know they're serious and they actually care about getting their music on our station. Then hell yeah, I'm going to talk and I'm going to play, and because that shows me they're motivated.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's no secret that for Swirl at least, we've had some pretty successful mentors in this industry. So, they're always quick to point out to us, hey man, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're on top of this. This is what we did. This is what happened for us. Whether that's, like I said, Carlos Cavazo or Fred Corey, the drummer from Cinderella, who produced 2 songs, Time to Fly and Mad Disease for us that you can hear on our website. He's actually playing on the tracks too. So, but those guys are, keenly, we're checking in with each other. Hey, what's going on? And, hey, I saw you guys have this interview, or I saw a bit of press about you, or, they're constantly seeing the reports of where we're charting at and all that good stuff. And, they're excited too, because as they would say, it takes me back to when we were just getting started, and you guys are definitely, on the right path, it seems.
Yeah, cool. Very good, very good. And just on a side note, I have Time to Fly queued up to play after the interview, just so you know.
Awesome. Fred will be all about that one.
Yep, that one's definitely queued up and in the list. So with these tracks you sent me, who produced? Well, I guess you mentioned some of the production, but what studio did you use to record and master and all that stuff?
Well, let's see. With the Lift, we used Granite Records out of Santa Ana, California, which was not necessarily a record label, or at least not for us. It was the recording studio aspect of it. Brilliant producer named Imad Aladdin. Sorry about that. We just call him Emo. So for me, I can type his name, but I very rarely have to say his last name. So you caught me there. We co-produced that song. The songs that are from the Swirl EP, including the 3 songs that are in the Ditch Day film, we co-produced with James Rieger out in Lake Elsinore, California. But everything else, the other songs were recorded in L.A. with Fred at his studio in Los Angeles.
Ah, very cool.
And he produced those, so he was the one that, kind of showed us the ropes and taught us some things about songwriting and structure and playing for the song and, those kinds of things. Of course, we learned those with Carlos and Matt, too. And Claude is forever, critiquing things, which is great. I love it. It's good to have input from a guy or a series of people that, sold millions of records and were able to do this on the level that we're trying to get to. Even though we're doing it in a different genre, a different style of music, their success is undeniable.
Yeah, you can't go wrong having those guys helping you, that's for sure, right?
Sure.
So, how did you come up with the name of the band? How did Swirl come to be?
In that previous version, we were, like I said, out of the Pacific Northwest. We were going to come down to Southern California to record some songs, and those songs ended up becoming the Out of Nowhere record. On the drive down, the singer at that time is from Canada. We had a bass player from Canada and myself that were driving to Southern California, and then my brother was going to come over from Phoenix to do the sessions. And so we were kicking around names on the drive down. And, look, if you take one, if you get a look at the band itself, people tend to look at the band and see the name and go, oh, okay, well, it makes sense because it is, a half black, half white band. We started out using the yin yang logo and all that good stuff. It goes a little deeper than that in the fact that we all really do truly get along. It's, as cliche as it is. I mean, for Brian and I, obviously there's a family atmosphere about it, but, after 10 years, Al and Shane are brothers,
Right.
we've experienced so many things. Because when this band first got together, we went out on tour after we left the studio with Fred, and we spent a year, literally, in a Ford Econoline van, driving around the U.S. on various tours, with the likes of the Bullet Boys or George Lynch or A Rat and Extreme and Cinderella, for example. That's how we got to know each other as people, was that time spent touring. And so naturally, now, we communicate on a level that, it isn't just we get together and write songs. I mean, we know each other's lives inside and out. It's very cool. There's been other versions of the band where we just didn't have that. So I'm very appreciative of the guys that I work with now.
Oh yeah, that's killer. So, what got you into music? What kind of influences have you had? That kind of got you into this whole, this whole rock metal, the whole scene.
Oh, okay. Well, see, here's the thing. I guess I need to ask you a question first. Are you asking about my specific influences, or are you asking about Swirl's influences? Because they are not the same.
Okay, well, let's make it a twofold question. What are your influences, and then the rest of the guys, I guess.
Okay, all right. So here's the. For me, I started out on violin. My dad was really big on playing classical music and on road trips. And when you live in Alaska, everywhere is a road trip. So I got to listen to a lot of classical music. And so I started out playing violin, got introduced to the rock thing because of Kiss. And that was, for Brian and I both, it was like, you know what? Look, I've seen the girls that follow the orchestra, and I see the girls that follow Kiss, and so I'm going to go in that direction.
Right on.
So there was some of that, and but with all of us, I mean, like Brian and I started with Kiss, but then we went in very different directions. Brian is very jazz drummer oriented. I think the rock thing, he loved Motley Crue, but his biggest rock band was Rush. So when he writes and when he brings his parts to Swirl, he's coming at it from that angle. Alfred will tell you all day long about David Bowie or Billy Idol, which obviously isn't the same as the whole Motley Crue world or whatever. Shane will all day long about your Metallica and your Korn, some of the heavy stuff. But so we all get together. For me, it was after Kiss, it was like the 80s guitar heroes. Like my favorite guitar player was Jakey Lee, and right after that is Warren DeMartini and George Lynch, kinds of guys. So we all get to bring our separate influences together to create Swirl songs. So you like if you listen to Message, especially if you check out Message in a live setting, Shane's got a little bit of the Korn vibe going on the bass line underneath the guitar solo. There's that, But obviously my guitar solo is not anything that you hear in a Korn kind of song, that kind of a thing. Alfred writes from his experiences, but he's a very positive guy. So, and that because the thing people seem to be picking up on our music is that there's a lot of empowerment. It's not a deduction thing. It's just who we are. We're positive people. We're not angry at the world all the time and mad about this, that, and the other. It's just not our experience. And, nothing against people that write that way. More power to them. But I'm not going to try and write about something that Al's not going to try and write about something that he doesn't know. I think the angriest thing he wrote was We Are Alive, which was basically directed at a former employer because he didn't appreciate, the people working for him.
Right. Okay. Very good. Very good. So here's a question specifically for you.
Okay.
What bands are you listening to these days? What kind of music is your mainstay go-to?
Recently got a new car, or at least new to me, and there's no CD player in the car, which, okay, that was the new thing. So I got a hold of Sirius XM satellite radio thing. So I'm always like on Liquid Metal and Octane, and of course I'll throw on some Ozzy's Boneyard channel every now and then, that kind of a thing. There's a lot. Nevermore, love them. I think they're great. Geez, there's so much. Gojira, Gojira. I've seen the name, but I don't know that I pronounced it correctly.
I can never pronounce it right either.
Okay, all right. So not just me. Good, thank you.
No, it's not just you. I can never say it right either.
Yeah. So, which would, I guess, sound weird because I'm talking about how I'm an 80s guitar guy, but then I kind of got into more of the more current, like a Shutdown or a Seeper or even a Five Finger Death Punch kind of bands. And I'll use that to kind of influence what I'm doing writing wise. But I guess it's kind of I like to listen to all of that stuff. I don't know. I think if you tried to pigeonhole it, and I really am against labeling it that way, but what if you took Shinedown and put Warren DeMartini in it? Man, that to me would be kind of, if someone said, well, describe your band. I mean, what does Nickelback sound like with George Lynch?
Right on. Very good, very good. If you have not listened to it yet, I highly recommend you listen to the new Judas Priest album from beginning to end. It is badass.
Oh, I just heard an interview with them yesterday, and I have checked it out. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant record.
Yep. I've listened to that thing like 20 plus times from beginning to end. I can't stop listening to it. It's almost addicting.
No, yeah, very much so. It's just amazing, which, that's why I got as high as top 5, right?
Yep. Exactly. So, when you guys aren't making music, does anybody have any crazy, interesting hobbies that they like to do?
Well, let's see. For myself, I'm a fairly successful youth football coach out here in Southern California. So, I can easily up and down sidelines screaming at kids in a positive way. Well, their parents may not always say that, but, screaming at kids, trying to get them to do better, to learn the sport. And as a result, I've had some kids go from youth football to have some relatively successful high school careers there now. Some of them are getting ready to go start playing college football, which is really exciting for me.
Oh, yeah.
So I do that. Al is very theater-oriented, so he's always checking out things in that direction. Brian, like I said, is an avid outdoors guy. So, he'll hop on a flight and go back up to Alaska and go fishing in a heartbeat. Matter of fact, when we're recording, after he puts down his drums, that's usually what he does.
Good for him.
Yeah, you got to have those outlets, right?
Yep, exactly. Well, you'll appreciate this. Our local high school, they're doing Guys and Dolls musical, and my son, he's in the pit. He plays trumpet, and he's first trumpet for the pit for the musical. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. That is extremely awesome. That's cool. That's very, I can't put it any other than that. That's great.
Yeah, his plan is to go to college for a music major and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, he's working hard as musicians need to be successful.
Absolutely. More power to him. Tell him congratulations and keep up the good work.
Yeah, heck yeah, we'll do. So I'm always curious when I talk to bands about, especially ones that have done a lot of live shows. I'm always curious to hear if you have a story that you're willing to share about something crazy that happened at a live show, and it doesn't have to be bad. But you have any cool story you can tell us about something that happened at a live show?
Sure. You know what? The coolest thing I can think of was we went out to Japan. We headlined a festival over there, like a traveling festival. So we were doing a tour of Japan, and we played a place called On Air West, which is a smaller arena. And I'll never forget Brian was talking to me about it. He would keep looking out the side curtain as the bands that, there were local bands that were playing, as the bands were playing. And, it was a decent turnout, but not a lot. And, we knew, because when we got off the plane, walking through the airport, there's this newspaper that has our faces on cover. And we were like, why is that due? We haven't done enough. We're very humble that way. We're quick to point out, we haven't done enough to warrant, the big press and this, that, and the other. We just, continue to work our asses off. Well, we got ready to go on, and I remember Brian said he scaled the light truss and looked out, and the place was completely packed. Just, just to the rafters all of a sudden. And I guess people had been outside and waiting for, us to come on and do our thing. And I'm like, this is our first time in Japan. We're not with a major label. I don't know that there's been a whole, I don't know that, because we didn't know the game. We were green at the time. Didn't know what was being done to market and promote it. But all of a sudden, there was everybody. And it just was an amazing, amazing situation. I mean, I think you can hear it. I'm still smiling just talking about it, thinking about that.
Right,
that show.
You should be.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's super cool. Super cool. Okay, shameless plug time again. Where is a good place? How do they find out? How do the listeners find out more about the band? Where do they go to find the music? Where they can download it? Where they can buy merch? Whatever you have out there.
Well, like I said, everything is basically run through swirltheband.com. You can find everything out there. There's a global press tab you can hit if you want to read about, look, we've been very fortunate since about March of 2017, whether it's the Huffington Post or the Examiner, certain rock sites like your Sleaze Rocks, I'm not getting into mentioning other radio stations. That's not my style. But, we've got a lot of coverage. So if anyone's interested, they're welcome to peruse through and look through all the press that we've got. The links are there that will take you to our iTunes. If people want to buy, download the record, download the songs. Our SoundCloud links are up there too, or our little SoundCloud logo. You hit that and it'll take you directly to our page. So, the Swirl the Band is the hub, and you can find anything else you want from there.
Okay, very cool. I don't know if you guys have or not. If you have not, I would highly recommend that you create a band page on our website. You can do that. We get a ton of traffic to the website every day. So just one more place to help, promote and push the band. And if you post like news and stuff, it'll actually post to the main page. I mean, so there's a lot of cool stuff we can do right at the website for you as well.
Consider it done.
So, and if you need any help, just hit me up. When you let me know when you create the page and everything, and then as admin or whatever I am on the site, I think that I can post and make sure that it gets published out to the main front page. So make sure you let me know when you do it.
Well, let's just let your listeners know we'll be building this tomorrow. I have to go out and see a band play tonight in Southern California, but if you're available, I will connect with you tomorrow and we'll build this up. It'll be live on Sunday.
Yep, perfect. Sounds like a good plan. Okay, anything else about Swirl you want to make sure the listeners know that we didn't cover?
This has been a very thorough interview. It's been great. Besides the fact that, like I try and stress to people, we are extremely approachable and very humble. I want to take the time to thank you and your listeners for learning about us and caring about what we do. I mean, that's the main thing. Aside from that, when we get out and we start announcing tour dates, come on out and have fun. It's a fun show. It's a high energy. We're not standing there staring at the tops of our shoes. We're all about, getting the energy going in the room, all that good stuff while we're playing. So it's sweat fest, but it's fun.
Badass. So as I mentioned earlier, I do have three Swirl tracks lined up. I have Message, Rise Up, and Time to Fly all queued up to play, so they're going to get a good triple shot of Swirl in their face to get a good sense and feel for the band. So that's kind of where we're at that way. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank you again for taking time to talk to us tonight, and we'll be following the band, and I'll look forward to keeping in touch with you, buddy.
Absolutely. Hey, I don't know if it's possible. You'd have to tell me, but when we get to Michigan, let's do a live remote interview. Let's cover the show, and that'd be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, 100% down with that. You just, as long as it's doable, obviously for me, depending on distance and the timing and everything, if it's something we can make work, I'm 100% on board.
Okay, consider it done.
So, sounds good, man. Okay, well, thanks again.
Right.
Please tell the rest of the band, everybody at MDR says hello, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you, DJ REM. Appreciate it, man.
Okay.
You guys are great.
Thanks, man. Take care.
All right, have a good night.
Yep, you too. Bye.